Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, the 11th of September 2017. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News, bringing you the day's national top stories translated into English 6 days a week. Prime Minister Rama today presented the program of his governance. During his speech in the plenary session, the Prime Minister appeared reflective and tolerant with the opposition, asking that the debates focus on unity rather than political conflict. After wishing success to the new Assembly Speaker and hoping that sessions are held more successfully than in the previous legislature, the Prime Minister admitted that there were mistakes made during his governance in the first mandate. Mr. Rama asked that internal debates do not result in a poor reputation in the international arena. One of the government's objectives for the coming 4 years is the possibility of allowing migrants to vote in the 2021 election. Regarding Kosovo, the Prime Minister congratulated Kosovo's new Prime Minister and asked him to take the project to unite customs ahead. Prime Minister Rama vowed that his government will increase efforts to implement projects with Kosovo and promised for strategic cooperation with neighbours. Regarding the old disputes with Greece, the Prime Minister said that the government will intensify the efforts to find solutions, vowing to adhere to the policy of zero problems with neighbours. Every Greek person who lives in Albania is a member of our family. The Greek community is a bridge that connects our people, and the Albanian government will increase support for them. But Albania will not close its mouth for its own rights. Real dialogue will help our relations with Greece. We want reciprocal friendship, respect and cooperation, said the Prime Minister. According to Mr. Rama, Albania deserves European integration. Opening of negotiations next year is what Albania is waiting for and what Albania deserves. According to us, it is unfair that this issue continues to be delayed for reasons that have nothing to do with Albania. We know the European Union and its unpredictable process of integration does function. So we will do what's in our hands and create an Albania aligned with the standards of the EU, said the Prime Minister. Declaring that the US remains a strategic partner of Albania, the Prime Minister announced that the new government will donate funds for victims of hurricanes in the US. The Prime Minister said that the government will move the judicial reform forward in order to return hope to people that they can receive justice. The Prime Minister added that he considers the vetting process to be vital before promising a new era for partnership with businesses, a 5% economic growth in the third year of his mandate, to increase pensions and salaries, and for greater investment in tourism. The Democratic Party chairman, Basha, considered the Prime Minister's presentation of the government's program to be an empty and superficial presentation. The DP chairman said that the Albanian people have no expectations from this government and that the Prime Minister takes no responsibility for what he does. According to the DP chairman, the Prime Minister makes only empty promises. It was an empty and superficial presentation. Propaganda was at its core. He started with empty promises and refuses to take responsibility for past promises upon which he did not deliver. He said nothing about the 300,000 jobs that he promised but never opened. He must answer as to why he destroyed our economy, but Rama has no excuse for this. He is the head of an alliance between politics and crime. This parliament is a product of the alliance of Rama with crime, declared the DP chairman, adding that the opposition's role is to return hope to the Albanian people. Ramush Haradinaj has officially taken on his duty as the Prime Minister of Kosovo. Haradinaj was elected as Kosovo's Prime Minister 3 months after the early elections held on June 11. Kosovo's former Prime Minister handed down the duty to the new Prime Minister, along with a summary of the work done by his cabinet so far. After taking on the duty, the new Prime Minister held the first official meeting with the US Ambassador to Kosovo. The US Ambassador to Kosovo wished Prime Minister Haradinaj well for his new duty. It was emphasised that the US Embassy is waiting for cooperation with the new government to advance the projects for the good of Kosovo's citizens, who want the government and its institutions to work for their benefit. ULEX and EU officials also issued a statement to the media, urging the new government to immediately start with work for strengthening of institutions and to implement the necessary reforms. Haradinaj was elected as Kosovo's Prime Minister with 61 votes in favour. The new school year started today for all those attending pre-university education. According to the data from the Ministry of Education, schools all around the country opened their doors for over 495 students for the 2017-2018 school year. This special day was full of emotion for around 33,000 children who were attending school for the first time. Though the majority of students were happy to embark on this adventure, of course there were some new students who found it difficult when it came time to separate from their parents. Meanwhile, for those who are already familiar with school, adaptation was much easier. The new school year is expected to finish on the 2nd of June 2018 for primary schools and on the 14th of June 2018 for high schools and secondary schools. As with every year, the start of school resulted in heavy traffic across the streets of the capital, even though state police had taken measures to avoid road traffic, increasing the number of police officers in the most problematic road axes. Still, many intersections suffered blockages. The road traffic was especially heavy on roads taking you into the centre and roads where City Hall employees are still working to improve infrastructure. A group of volunteers were also helping, advising citizens to respect the road rules. Meanwhile, following the order of the State Police Director, the plan of measures to guarantee order and security in schools was also implemented today. The Vice Director for Order and Security at Tirana's Police told an Aura News journalist that State Police will intensify checks in schools in order to avoid trafficking of narcotics. Tirana's Mayor, Erion Veliai, was at the Hassan Tassini School this morning to wish students a successful year. According to the Mayor, 190 schools have opened in Tirana so far and teaching across 2 shifts will be ending soon. The Mayor added that 16 new schools are still needed in order to end teaching across 2 shifts once and for all. The Minister of Education was also present, declaring that they are turning schools into community centres. We have the opportunity to create a new history for the future of Albanian children, a new history of education in schools. Schools which do not simply close when lessons end, but continue in order to finalise a big project to turn schools into community centres, declared the Minister of Education. After the Prime Minister's criticism and the debates caused by the election of the new chairman of the Academy of Sciences, the Academy held a special meeting today and decided to establish an ad hoc commission with 13 members. The ad hoc commission will make proposals regarding the reform of the Academy of Sciences. The package of proposals prepared by the ad hoc commission will be presented to the Prime Minister, who will be asked to approve the final document. The decision of the Academy of Sciences comes a few days after the Prime Minister's warning that the Academy of Sciences would be merged if it's not reformatted. At the beginning of the meeting, the chairman of the Academy of Sciences admitted that the Academy needs reform, but he denied that the Academy has ever been rotten. The scientific reform has entered a new decision-making phase. We want to respond to this phase with the establishment of an ad hoc commission, which will be made up of academics and researchers. The Commission will have an active role until the approval of a legal framework. The Academy is not and has never been rotten, and the many publications we have headed in the past 8 years are a testament to this, said the chairman of the Academy. Meanwhile, some members of the Academy wrote a letter to the Prime Minister yesterday saying that the government is the one that should make the reform. The academics asked the Prime Minister not to merge the institution, adding that such action would be dictatorial. That's all for our English edition this evening. My name is Alexandra. Please join me again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. for your local news in English. On behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.